Okay, ladies and gentlemen, big warm welcome to the next episode of the Under the Lights podcast, being joined by Liverpool's very own Sean Arkwright, 8-1 young boxer from Liverpool, ahead of a bout at Box Park in Liverpool next Friday. Thanks for joining us today, Sean. How are things?
All good, yeah, Sean's ready to go. Can't wait to get in now, do the business.
Yeah, so obviously we're going to preview your bout and talk over your career. The first question I've asked all my guests who are boxers so far is, how did you first find yourself in a boxing gym?
It's in my family anyway. My granddad boxed, my dad had a little go, all my uncles had a little go, but my granddad was the main one. He was a good boxer, and then I was playing footy as a kid and just fighting whatever. I had a bit of a temper, and my dad threw me in the gym and never looked back.
What age were you then?
10.
10?
9 or 10, something like that, yeah.
So could you give us a quick talk through your amateur career?
Yeah, I spent most of my amateur career at the Solly. I started in the Golden Gloves because that's where my granddad boxed. I was only there for a little bit and then left. I was at the Solly for probably about 8 to 9 years. I had 90% of my fights for them, and then just at the end I left and went to Gemini. I had one for the Gemini and then stopped.
How many bouts did you have all in?
About 45, something like that.
So you say you started there about 10, about a 10-year career, so 19, 20, stop boxing amateur. What came into your mind to decide to turn into the professional ranks?
I'd stopped boxing altogether. I stopped at 17, 18, and I went on like a little, I was going out, drinking, partying. Well, a lot more most people do, but obviously I just always missed it. I missed being around the gym and was always like threatening to get back in and might have a go at training for a week. I went back to Solly, but it was never ever happening. And then just before COVID hit, Ethan said he was going to turn over, and obviously me and Ethan are best mates outside the boxing, so he sort of gave me the nudge really. I was looking at him in the gym and I thought, yeah, I can get back in now myself, so I jumped on with him.
So yeah, you made that decision to turn over. 2021 you turned pro, and if you look at your early boxing career in the pro ranks, some of the lads you box, your Jordan Grannans, your Kevin McCauley, they're like proper old school journeymen, aren't they? Tough, hard, strong men.
First 3 fellas or 4 were all
like
very tough
as well, aren't they? So how did you find out? Because obviously I'm assuming that far into your amateur career you were having 50-50s or competitive fights. Obviously, how did you find adjusting to the likes of Jordan and Kev, they're artists at what they do, but
it was tough. It was like, because as well, I'd never boxed as a senior, so I never boxed up a proper man. I still wasn't a proper man then, I was only 21. But yeah, it was good, it was tough. I think that's what you need when you first turn over to get it. I remember boxing Kevin McCauley, and he threw the heads on me in the first round. I looked at me lip and looked at him. He like waits at me as if to say, look, this is what's going to happen here, lad. If you stay with your feet, I'm going to knock you. So it is good, you need that, like, our last section that he teaches more about the pros.
You think they develop you, boxing them lads?
Yeah, 1,000%. Yeah. Definitely. I think you learn how to pace your fight as well, because you come out fast and start putting your shots together and they don't fucking move.
Yeah, well, so people like Jordan and Kev, if you try to get them out there, you're just going to, they're bread and butter, isn't it?
Definitely.
Another big thing you'd say about your pro career turning over is you've always had a very good crowd. Yeah. How did you find boxing under the atmosphere, under the lights with your big crowd and big following?
Yeah, I never ever thought when I first turned over that I'd do the tickets that I'd done. I knew I'd do a fair few, but I didn't realise how many I would do when I first turned over. And I'll never forget coming out on my debut and hearing it and being like, wow, didn't expect this. But yeah, it is good. I think my first fight back after my little 2 years out as well, that was unbelievable.
Well, yeah, so saying you've got had a bit of a break out of boxing, and you got your started again, got your momentum going up again with a couple of wins. So sort of like a second phase of your career, you could say. And then you got the opportunity to box in the WBC Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia, got maxed against an undefeated Mexican called Jose Ramon Montes, 11-0 with 5 knockouts. How did that opportunity come about, and how was that whole experience? Not the fight, we'll come on to that, but just everything surrounding it.
It was brilliant. So Stephen gave me a message over it. Like it come out, it was all over social media that they were going to do it, and me and Ethan and all the lads and that said we'd be keen if it come up. So I just said to Steve, if it comes up, I'll take it. And I got a message off him saying, I don't think you're in here. He said, I've had an email back for all your details, so get them over quick. And sent everything over. It was all like a bit of a blur, like, because it was just getting this, getting that details over, getting this. And then next minute, it was announced and I was in. So, brilliant. Best experience I've had in boxing so far.
And obviously, it was a step up in class for you against a very good Mexican, I say undefeated 11-0 with 5 knockouts. How was the fight week itself then? Because you had like some commitments you might not have had before, media or
honestly, Bob, I thought it was brilliant. I loved it. Like all that side of it, I just took to it right away. I was made up even in the hotel. It was strange all of the fighters. You didn't know who you were fighting.
Yeah.
So you were eyeing people up, easy my weight. Not like trying to suss out who you'd be boxing. I loved it. And genuinely, that's why, like I said, after I had no excuses, even though it was a step up in opponents. Like I felt like when I got there and I was landed, I felt like, oh, this is what I'm in it for. I never swallowed it or not, and I never thought like, oh, this is a bit much. I was like, yeah, I like this.
How long were you actually out there?
Just under a week, I think it was. Yeah, I think we got there the Monday and I boxed on the Saturday, so yeah.
Was that the first time you boxed internationally? Yeah. How did you find that experience?
It didn't affect me or nothing. No. It was a bit strange, the crowd, like you say, I'm used to the big crowds and it was a bit quiet in there because obviously it's just local people here. No one really brought people over. I had my mum, my dad, my girlfriend come and I had a bit of family out there anyway, working out there, so I had about 10 people there, which was good, but it's not, when you sell loads of tickets in the Olympia or Box Park, it was a bit different, but no, it didn't affect me. Once the bell goes, it doesn't matter, does it?
And how was the opponent?
Nightmare. Just an headache. No, he wasn't particularly great at anything, but he was just a nightmare.
Was he good at everything?
Couldn't punch. Very hard, wasn't very fast, wasn't very strong. He was just constantly on me. So I feel like the first 2 phases, he'd come, he'd throw a shot, I'd make him miss, catch him. He'd throw another shot, I'd catch him again. I'd roll out, and then he was just still on my chest. So it was like phase 3, phase 4. I just ended up getting caught. He just smothered me, to be honest, he was a nightmare.
So obviously that was the first loss of your professional career. Obviously, I think it was a 50-50 fight going into that tournament. I know you've had one bout back with a win over Konstantin Alexandrov on the Box Nation show. And now you're out again next Friday against Calamide at Box Park on this Block 1 show. Is it just about getting these two, getting a bit of momentum back under your belt, getting some rounds under, and then a plan? I know we did an interview with your manager, Stephen Vaughan, last week, and he said this should be, your second one back after the Saudi, so you've got 12, maybe up to 12 rounds under your belt after it, and then look to press on to titles and 50-50s next year. You have the same thought?
1,000,000%. It would have been nice to sort of stay at that level from Saudi, but obviously with the result, it was sort of back to the drawing board a little bit, but last one of these fights, hopefully now that I'm expected to win, and then kick on next year. I think there's something exciting in the pipeline, which we can't speak about right now, but I'm excited for that. And I want proper fights. I want people who are coming trying to win, because I think you'll get the best out of me then as well with my style.
Yeah, I know you've got to offset that balance, haven't you, of being active but having the right fights. I think it's good to have had 2 after that, because you've been. When was the Saudi Grand Prix? It was only
April.
In April, so you got out twice more this year in theory, and then look to kick on at the start of next year. What's your intention? Because I know you've sort of hovered around middle, maybe a little bit higher. What weight do you want to settle at if we're going 50-50 titles?
I'm a middleweight, 1,000,000%, no doubt about it. I'm mainly comfy in Saudi. Probably, to be honest, if I push, I could probably do super welter. But the opportunity what's coming up is that super middle, but it's one that I'm confident in. So I think anywhere between super welter and super middle.
Just if the opportunity's
right and the fight's right for me, I'll take it. But I'd say I'm a middleweight.
So I know what you've said there. You said you can't talk too much about the opportunity that's coming up next year, but obviously if we look at the last 12 months, you've had the bout in Saudi and then the 2 since then. What would you see the next 12 months being successful for Sean Arkwright? What would you like to achieve? And then
few decent fights and just big wins. Yeah, some nice wins. Pick some titles up. You know, obviously everyone's in for titles. Titles are brilliant, but I just want some big nights as well.
Yeah.
No, obviously I've grew up loving boxing, watching boxing, and it's them big nights that you know. The fight, you don't remember what fight was on the line.
Yeah.
Remember that night in the Echo where such and such box, such and such, and it was just a few of them.
Obviously, you bring a big crowd. We want to touch on that a bit more. But this is the first professional event in Box Park, just up the road from where we're doing this interview now. I think it's like a modern York Hall. I think it's brilliant in there with like the balconies over. How many are you expecting to bring with you on next Friday?
It's on a few, yeah. It's on a few. I think I've took 120. I should do all of them. I might need a couple more. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, it's good. I think it's tough as well asking people all the time, especially when you're in these types of fights and these 6 ounces. It's tough trying to get people to keep giving you the money that they're working hard for, but still doing a good number. Like just gonna try and keep it up, and hopefully next year when it's bigger fights, the crowds will go back up again.
So do you think? Obviously, you said that you want this to be the sort of last bout like this for you, which is probably, as you said there, one you'd expect it to win. Are you looking for headliner next time? Would you like to headline a show for the title?
100%. Or if it's on a better card type thing, like on a big show, even just further down the card and that. But I like going over to Saudi, give me the little taste for it. Doing everything on the bigger stage, and I thought, I think I didn't disgrace myself. I didn't get rolled over, and I put in a good performance and I shown that I can mix at a decent level. So nothing to kick on now. Like,
so obviously, just speaking about the momentum you've got, because you're part of quite a strong young stable, both in your training setup and your management and promotion stable. Obviously, you've said there Ethan's your best mate outside of boxing. He's meant to be waiting for him to message me back about doing a podcast, to be honest with you.
It's his worst nightmare.
Is it?
He doesn't like speaking to anyone.
Just in your training setup and the lads, you're promoted with, who do you think, because I was saying this to Stephen last week when we interviewed him, there's a good, strong, young scout stable, isn't there? There's like yourself, Ethan, James Hennigan.
Fans come back around again, obviously there's the likes of, you've got Jack Taylor, Frankie Stringer, Joe McGrail, all the other lads, and then just with us ourselves, with Stephen, there's a good few. James is flying, James is looking at titles, and he's 13 and all now.
So which of the lads actually in the gym with you now then?
So there's me, James, Ethan, little Luisito. He's another one. He's out injured at the minute, but he's a scary talent. He's only 19, just turned. Matty Denny, and then we've got a new lad, a Ukrainian lad, just joined. He's something like, I can't remember if he's 12 and all or something, but he looks very good. He was sparring yesterday. I was watching him. He's tasty. But the gym's flying.
Do you think being together bring out the best in each other?
1,000,000%, because even like, me and Ethan have always trained together, and towards the end it was just me and Ethan. And it was hard, but having the lads around us and that, it is a lot easier. We do push each other on.
So obviously, you're with Block 1 now, promotionally managerial. Obviously, the opportunity to fight in Saudi come about from that. And I was speaking to Stephen last week. He said he likes his boxers to go for like the traditional route, Central area, English, Commonwealth, British, European, that sort of route. Is that a route that would interest you?
1,000,000%, but like I said before, as long as you're getting titles and you're staying active and you're having decent fights, I'm not one of them who'd sit and like pick a route, or I want to do any title I can get, I'll take.
That's the opportunity.
Just as long as it's a decent fight and it's an exciting night. It doesn't bother me what title it is.
So obviously a 6th rounder against Callum Hyde. I know his record is what it is on paper, but he doesn't really get stopped very often. He's one of the stereotypical British journeymen. Is there anything in particular you've been looking for in this particular bout, or are you just going to go and do, Sean?
Yeah, a little bit of both. So obviously when you get in there, you do your own thing. But I think one thing that I'm looking forward to, he's a bit taller than me. I'm normally quite a bit taller than my opponent, and it's hard trying to find targets, especially when he tuck up and he sits in. you end up hitting heads and elbows, and I end up with my hands smashed up. But he's a big target, which is something I'm looking forward to.
Do you find it difficult on the night at all, as I said, with obviously Ethan, James being on the bill and like training partners, or like, is it on your mind that when they're fighting, if you haven't boxed yet? Or...
Yeah, so I'm normally on last as well out of us all, so I think anyone who's on earlier is shines, but then when it gets closer to my fight, so I think last time Ethan was on first, so I'll come out, I could watch Ethan.
Yeah.
Just say around the back and watch them shines, and then Matty was on like 2 or 3 fights before me, so I couldn't watch him. So like obviously you're hearing cheers and all that in the back, and you're thinking what's going on here, but oh, it shines. Obviously you're out on your own fight anyway, but of course you are worried about what's happening with the lads, but not too much.
So I think we previewed your fight there in the next 12 to 18 months and gone over like a bit of a potted history of your career. We'd like to finish off with a couple of quick fire questions, if that's all right. So obviously you started boxing young. Who was the best bout you had as an amateur against?
Schoolboy quarter final, I boxed a lad called Junaid Mohammed. He was very, very good, and I was only there as a novice, but my coach at the time didn't tell me anything about him, so I just turned up brand new, didn't have a clue, and just went to war with him, beat him.
Yeah.
And it was only after I found out like he won all kinds and he was a top kid.
Where did that one take place?
Crocky Sports Centre.
I was going to say, because some of the, when I asked this question, someone surprised me because they come back with like an old amateur venue, but what's your favourite venue you've boxed in?
I used to like Crocky, yeah.
Yeah.
Boxing in the Dockers Club just before that was good.
What about as a pro?
Probably the Olympia.
The Olympia.
Yeah. Common Sense Law's not bad as well.
Yeah.
It's tight and the atmosphere is good in there.
Well, I do think Box Park is going to be good for atmosphere as well. I've worked an MMA show in there, and it was good, but I think it's built for boxing. I really do. I think it's like a mini York Hall. Is there any venues that you want to fight at that you haven't yet?
That's an easy one. Everyone's new ground.
Yeah.
That's on the bucket list. That's what I mean. Something like that. I'd take that over any title.
Yeah.
Maybe not world titles, but to get to fight at our stadium, that would be unbelievable.
So yeah, just a quick to end the interview then, because we find in these sort of snappier ones are being a bit more viewer friendly. They seem to be what people want to see. From us, is there any message you've got for anyone who hasn't watched your box yet and what they might expect to see if they do buy tickets for Friday or any future events?
Jump on now while you can, because while it's still small old boxing, some people think, I'll leave that, but jump on now, there's loads of good lads, not just myself. If you jump on the journey now, when we all do make it, you feel like you've gone through it.
I just think, I'm just looking at some of the posters we've got up there, the poster for this week, and there's the one from the Box Nation show. Yeah. The names on them all speak for themselves, don't they? And like, some top kids, you're all on the same sort of trajectory and similar ages. Yeah. So it could be an exciting journey, couldn't it?
100%, yeah. Jump on now while you can.
Well, I appreciate that, Sean. Thanks for coming on.